Here's a question I often ask in meetings. Is this a risk or is this already an issue? The room usually goes quiet. Because many problems at work doesn't start as issues. They start as risks that weren't treated seriously. In the first video, we talked about what risk management really looks like at work. In the second video, we discussed why projects fail even when everything seems fine. In this video, I want to simplify one of the most basic and most misunderstood concepts in risk management, the difference between risk and an issue. Let's keep it simple. A risk is something that might happen in the future, an issue is something that has already happened. The difference sounds obvious, but in real work environment, it often gets blurred. This confusion happens because many teams start paying attention when something goes wrong. Before that point, early signs feel manageable, distant, or uncomfortable to raise. So risks are discussed casually or not at all until they are turned into an issue. So let's take a few common examples. If a key dependency hasn't confirmed their availability yet, that's a risk. If that dependency misses the deadline, that's an issue. If a timeline assumes everything will go perfectly, that's a risk. If the timeline slips, that's an issue. So, what goes wrong in practice? In many projects, risks are only logged when something is wrong. At that point, teams are no longer managing risk, they are managing damage. That is why risk registers often feel reactive instead of preventive. So, why risk management lives before issues? Risk management is more powerful before issues appear as it creates space to adjust plans, relocate resources, or change decisions while options still exist. Once something became an issue, those options shrink quickly. A simple mental shift. Here is a helpful way to think about it. If you still have choices, you are dealing with the risk. If your choices are disappeared, you are dealing with an issue. What strong teams do differently? Strong teams treat risk as conversations, not just entries in registers. They revisit risk regularly, they challenge assumptions early, they don't wait for proof of failures before acting. So, what are the key takeaway from this video? Risks are warnings, issues are consequences. The earlier you act, the more control you will have. If risk and issue often feel interchangeable at work, you are not alone. On Risk Simplified, we will continue breaking down these concepts so they actually make sense in real environment. Subscribe and let me know in comments what risk you have seen turn into an issue because it wasn't addressed early. This is Risk Simplified where risk is made practical and work is made clear. Thank you.